Hi guys, so in this video I wanted to sort of carry on talking about more underrated movies that I really enjoy and really think deserve just a bit more attention. And in this video I kind of just sort of wanted to focus more on 80s movies, as there was a lot I've seen that have sort of really stood out to me and deserve quite a lot more attention. So I kind of want to promote these movies and just try and spark people's interest to go out and see them, go out and hunt them, go out and find them, give them a watch and see what you think. So yeah, I've got quite a little bit of a small pile here. Just going to go through some movies. As I said, these are all from the 80s. And yeah, I just really hope you enjoy what I've got to show and hopefully inspire to check some of these films out. So I'm going to kick it off with the first couple, which I think are probably the most known. But yeah, that being said, I'm going to get straight into it. So my first underrated pick is UHF with Weird Al Yankovic. Yeah, this movie was just an absolute ton of fun that I really enjoyed. It sort of has that sort of Naked Gun style of humour to it. Massively enjoyed it. It was sort of my, apart from his music videos, it was sort of my introduction to Weird Al as an actor. But I really enjoyed this. Lots of cameos in it as well. Famous people. I just really enjoyed it and thought it was just an absolute ton of fun. So yeah, check out Ultra High Frequency. Thought it was fantastic. Yeah, just classic 80s, that film. So my next pick is Jeff Bridges in Tucker, The Man and His Dream. Yeah, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, would you believe? Yeah, just this great story about this guy who had this vision of this car and how he pretty much just wanted to promote it, as he just believed it was like the future of automobiles. But yeah, it's a great looking movie. Just deserves a lot more love and attention, I think, in my opinion. But a great performance by Jeff Bridges as well. Also, just wanted to mention as well, some of these films, yeah, you might have seen all of these. You may have not even heard of any of them, but they're just underrated, in my opinion, I think. This next pick is probably the most well-known film I think I've got on my list, and it's John Cusack in Better Off Dead. Man, do I love this movie. I just love everything about it. It is basically about a guy who's been dumped by his girlfriend, and he tries to win her back by pretty much challenging her new boyfriend, who's like the school jock, skiing down the side of this mountain. And it was just absolutely hysterical. The girlfriend is, of course, played by Tina from Nightmare on Elm Street. And the new girl, the new love interest in it, is played by that absolute fucking bitch from Last American Virgin. If you've seen the end of that film, you know what I'm on about. But yeah, I absolutely dug this movie. And that song that plays at the prom, Better Off Dead, that song, One Way Love, I fucking love that song. Oh my god, that song is absolutely awesome. You can find it on YouTube. It is such a catchy song, and it just oozes and drips 80s. Yeah, came slap bang out in the middle of the 80s, this movie in 1985. I absolutely love it. Just one of John Cusack's best, in my opinion. It's absolutely brilliant. So, speaking of John Cusack, my next pick obviously features him, and that is The Sure Thing. Yeah, this movie was another movie with a ton of fun to it. It pretty much focuses on him and this girl. I'm not sure the actress's name, but she was in The Fly 2 and Spaceballs. They're sort of forced to spend time together on this road trip, and they just absolutely despise each other. And by the end, you can obviously tell where it's going and what happens. But yeah, it was a ton of fun, and I absolutely enjoyed it. So yeah, Sure Thing. Check it out if you've not seen it. So, these next couple of picks are like sort of 80s high school movies. But again, just deserve a bit more love in my opinion. So this next one is just one of the guys. Again, this movie I absolutely loved. It's cliched to hell, but I thought it was just so much fun. It's basically about a girl who goes pretty much undercover at school as this guy, and obviously she meets a guy, falls in love with him, but he thinks she's a boy. It's that sort of cliched movie. Billy Zabka as well as the bully in this. You know, he probably got really typecast after the Karate Kid. But yeah, just an absolute ton of fun, and the liar reveal bit that happens at the end just really shocked me with the way she sort of tells him that she's, you know, where it comes to a head. But yeah, I thought the movie looked great, and it just was just so much fun. It's totally worth checking out. So speaking of Billy Zabka, he's also in this movie as well, which is my next pick. It's Rodney Dangerfield in Back to School. Yeah, look at the cast of this movie as well. You've got Rodney Dangerfield, Ned Beatty, Keith Gordon, obviously from Jaws 2 and Christine, and Robert Downey Jr. as well. An early role for him. Again, just a classic high school comedy that I just thought was an absolute ton of fun. Yeah, just absolutely superb. So yeah, Back to School. Find it, check it out. So my next pick is, again, it's another high school movie from the 80's. And that is Real Genius with Val Kilmer. I absolutely adored the music in this film. That Tears for Fears song that gets played in sort of every movie. It was in Bumblebee. Gets played at the end of this as well. Just absolutely great. Again, a ton of fun. One of Val Kilmer's most underrated movies for me. He's also in my next pick as well, which I'll get into soon. But yeah, Real Genius. Ton of fun. So yeah, Val Kilmer's in my next pick as well. Now, I've seen this movie sort of slowly increase in popularity. A lot more people are talking about it. And I'm glad, because it deserves that attention, and it deserves, you know, an increase in popularity. And that is Top Secret. This movie, again, so much fun. It just has that sort of Naked Gun humour to it. If you enjoy those movies, you will absolutely love this. Yeah, another great Val Kilmer movie. Top Secret. Just check out if you've not seen it. Just thought it was just absolutely fantastic. So my next pick for my underrated choice is a little movie called Something Wild. I enjoyed the hell out of this film. It basically follows two people that meet Jeff Daniels' Melanie Griffith, and Jeff Daniels sort of falls in love with her, but you find out a bit more about her past. She has this really crazy, violent husband played by Ray Liotta, which he just, when he plays the villain in a movie, he's absolutely terrifying. I don't know why. Just movies like Unlawful Entry. Oh my god, he's just terrifying in that movie. With Kurt Russell. But yeah, this one again was no exception. He was brilliant in this. As this really violent, crazy husband. But yeah, John Waters cameo in this as well. Which I really, really dug. But yeah, Something Wild. Fully recommend it, man. Just absolutely great. So, getting into a bit more serious movies now, I think. Yeah, this next pick I've got stars Edward James Olmos and Lou Diamond Phillips. If anyone remembers him, what an underrated actor, in my opinion. And I Stand and Deliver. Now, again, this movie I thought was so entertaining and so good. It basically follows this teacher who is teaching calculus to pretty much a class of no-hopers. And everyone sort of tells him, like, oh, you're not going to get anywhere with them. They're just, you know, it's absolutely pointless trying to teach them. But what ends up happening is he teaches them calculus and they end up taking the test and they all pass, but they all get the same score, and the board accuses them of cheating. But again, it was the performances in this. If you've seen the South Park episode where Cartman's like, "How do I reach these kids?" That South Park episode parodies this movie. But yeah, I absolutely loved it and thought it was fantastic. So check Stand and Deliver out if you've not seen it. It's absolutely superb. So my next pick for underrated movie is a little movie called Night Mother. I've got this foreign cover for it. I absolutely thought this was so riveting, so dialogue driven. It pretty much saws Sissy Spacek and Anne Bancroft for pretty much the entirety of the film. The premise is basically Sissy Spacek looks after her mother, Anne Bancroft, and she tells her that she will be dead by the morning, that she's going to commit suicide, and there's no point talking her out of it at all. Really, really dark subject matter, but it was so character driven and so well written. I was completely hooked and engaged by it. So if you've got the time, I fully implore you to check Night Mother out. I thought it was brilliant. Now, this next pick for me is probably the most underrated movie on this list. And it's a shame because it's got some superb actors in it. And that for me is The Plowman's Lunch. With Jonathan Pryce and Tim Curry. Jonathan Pryce is absolutely brilliant. I absolutely love some of his more recent work, like The Two Popes and The Wife. Even the stuff he did with Terry Gilliam, like The Adventures of Baron Munchausen and Brazil. I absolutely love those films too. Tim Curry, oh fucking hell, what can I say? Everything he touches turns to gold. Yeah, the guy is just, I love anything he's in. But yeah, this one really, really impressed me. I love how this movie looked. Sort of is about journalism. But again, it's the characters that make it for me. I just thought it was just absolutely superb. Criminally underrated. Let me know if anyone's heard of this movie because I looked on IMDb. It's got about like 300 votes on it, where like usually movies get like in the hundreds and tens of thousands. But yeah, absolutely superb film. So underrated. Totally deserves more love. So this next pick I've got was actually recommended by another YouTuber, so I totally owe full credit to Blu-ray Bullet on this one for recommending this movie. I checked it out, and boy, he was not wrong. If you're watching this, let me know. But I absolutely dug this movie, and that is 3 O'Clock High. I just fell in love with this. I thought it was absolutely superb. It pretty much follows this guy who's at school, and there's this new student coming in, and he's this absolute ruthless bully who's got this horrible reputation. He ends up obviously getting on the wrong side of this bully, and the bully says to him, 3 o'clock, we're going to meet, we're going to fight, there's nothing you can do about it, that's what's going to happen. So the movie basically follows all of these tricks that he tries to do to get out of fighting this bully. And I fell in love with it and thought it was brilliant, and it had one of the most satisfying endings as well to a movie with such build up to it. The bully's played by the guy from Kindergarten Cop. He plays the villain in that, and he has a brief performance in There's Something About Mary as well. But yeah, I absolutely loved this movie. Thought it was a ton of fun and an absolute blast. So yeah, full credit to Blu-ray Bullet for recommending that. I absolutely dug it. That guy's got some really good recommendations. So, my next and final pick for my underrated movies of the 80s special is a movie called Heaven Help Us. Now, in the UK, this is a Region 1 DVD. In the UK, this movie's known as Catholic Boys. I don't even think it has a DVD release, to be honest, here in the UK, but I absolutely love this movie. It just absolutely hooked me, and it is just so great. It basically follows these five friends, in the 50s at this sort of very heavily religious Catholic school. The way the teachers dress, they almost have like this monk look to them, the way they dress. And it basically follows how they don't really get on with the teachers and how they want to sort of break free and live their own life and do the normal things. And towards the end of the movie, there's this statue that gets defaced, and the boys get blamed and caught for it. The main sort of villain in this movie is the guy who plays Danny's dad in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's one of the teachers, and the scene where he just sort of beats these kids is just absolutely brutal, and it's so well acted. I want to touch on the cast in this movie as well. First off, the adults in it: Donald Sutherland, John Hurd, Wallace Shaw, just absolute superb actors. Mary Stuart Masterson as well. Getting into the main cast of the five lads in it. This guy down here, I'm not sure of his name, but I've seen him in a couple of things. He was one of the bullies in Christine, and he was in that Roland Emmerich abortion of a movie, Godzilla. This guy right here, most people probably recognise him as Evil Ed from Fright Night. The career that he chose sort of after acting in mainstream movies, I was absolutely shocked to discover that this guy went into a career of gay porn. Yep, that's just what I read. But yeah, Andrew McCarthy, absolutely great, obviously from the Brat Pack. Kevin Dillon, great in this, great in the Blob remake. Obviously Matt Dillon's brother. And this guy right here, I've seen this movie many times. I had no idea who this was up until recently. That is a young Patrick Dempsey. Yeah, my mind was totally blown when I saw that. Figured that out, but yeah, I absolutely was shocked to find out that was the dude from Grey's Anatomy, McDreamy. But yeah, I fully recommend this movie. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favourites. So good. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there and just say thanks very much for watching. As I said, you may have seen all of these movies and gone, none of these are underrated in my opinion. But a lot of videos I'm seeing lately of people putting underrated movies out, I just think they're not really deep cuts, if you know what I mean. Like when I think underrated, I think deep cuts, and that's what these movies are to me. But yeah, I'm just gonna say I hope you've enjoyed this sort of 80s special where I've looked at these movies, and I hope I've inspired you to check some of them out and go and find them. So yeah, I'll leave the video there and just say thanks very much. If you've enjoyed it, please think about subscribing. Stay safe and take care. Thanks again.